The topic self-love seems to be the buzzword right now. You hear it everywhere, you read about it, you come across videos about it, even celebrities are talking about self-love. And yet, what self-love gurus or self-love coaches won't tell you, but I will, is that self-love advice is not a one-size-fits-all. And if a certain concept or an opinion from a self-love guru does not resonate with you or you don't agree with that, you can feel like, is there something wrong with me? The fact that I don't agree with this, the fact that I don't resonate with this. And the truth is, no, sweetheart, you are not broken and there's nothing wrong with you. I started my self-love journey in May 2019. And in just a few weeks, it will be fully 6 years. Over that time, I learned how to truly love myself and discovered what true self-love really means. And in this video, I'm sharing the hidden truths about self-love advice that no self-love coaches or self-love gurus will tell you. Hey guys, it's Lamisha Faria. Welcome back to the Sweet and Savage Show and another episode of the Art of Practicing Self-Love series. What I want you to know is that self-love gurus or self-love coaches are sharing what has worked for them. And they're sharing their views, beliefs, and their opinions based on their own experience and what they have observed, as well as the technique that has worked for them and what they have learned up until this point. And I am doing the same thing. The first thing that no self-love guru or self-love coaches might tell you is that you can actually mix and match techniques and do things your way and experiment on your self-love journey. This is something that I've done on my own self-love journey, and this is something that I recommend other people doing as well to see what works for them and also how do you feel when you try this. Okay, you are seeing a progress with a certain technique. Let's continue that. For example, you can combine the technique that I talk about and you can combine something that you want to do together. Now you have your own technique. Now you're doing things in your own way. So you are mix matching things to cater it to your needs and to how you work and to how you want to do certain things when it comes to your self-love journey. This is something that I didn't hear any self-love gurus, self-love coaches talk about, is that you can experiment on your self-love journey when it comes to techniques and mix and match and do things your way and see how you feel. Discover how you truly feel when you do X, Y, and Z and how you feel when you combine two techniques and you do things your way. Let me share an example from my own experience and my own self-love journey. What I mean when I said you can mix and match techniques and do things your way. So at the beginning of my self-love journey and healing journey, what I did is that after a while of me being on my self-love journey, I started my self-love journey by saying I love you to myself in front of the mirror, part of my mirror work, which I did every single morning. Even up until this day, I still do that. That's like part of my self-love practice. And at the time, I was very familiar with Dr. Joe Dispenza's work. You don't know him or about his work and how many people he has helped to heal. So I suggest you check out his work because it is very transformative. Breaking the habit of being yourself. Breaking the habit of being yourself talks about letting go of your conditioned self. What he recommends is you stepping into your new identity from now on, acting and feeling like your ideal self. He didn't necessarily talk about self-love, but you can apply this also when it comes to self-love. What I decided to do in my way, which is that I stepped into the new identity of someone who loves themselves, and as well as at the time, I also did breath work, which really helped me release all the negative emotions that I didn't allow myself to feel as a child or even as a teenager. This goes against the technique that Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about. I learned so many lessons from practicing breath work, but if I would not have done this, I would not have realized all these things that I have realized that I know now about myself. Not only did I step into my new identity, where I didn't try to love myself from a place of, oh, I hated myself. Now I am trying to love myself. One day I like myself. The next day I don't like myself. Like, no, from that place. I love myself now. This is the new identity. As well as I allowed myself to get in touch with myself, do breath work, do self-love sessions every single week and show up for myself and do the work when it comes to you learning how to build a healthy, loving relationship with myself. For me, right now, when it comes to healing from experiencing abuse in my childhood, for quite a while, I really allowed myself to release the anger, the sadness, and everything that I felt towards my abuser. I realized after a while of doing that, hey, I fully want to move on. So I decided that I was going to do the Dr. Joe Dispenza meditation visualization before going to bed. And I've been doing this every single day. And let me tell you, it has been helping me a lot. As you can tell, I've done things my way again. I mixed and matched and experimented and allowed myself to do what I felt like was right for me, and you can do the same exact thing. And this is something that a lot of self-love gurus or coaches will not tell you. Now, the second important thing that self-love gurus or coaches will not tell you is that their definition of self-love may not resonate with you. Just because something is their definition of self-love, a certain concept or a certain opinion that they have when it comes to a certain aspect, when it comes to self-love, doesn't mean that you need to agree with it. Doesn't mean that you all of a sudden need to resonate with it when in fact it doesn't resonate with you. You may disagree with that. And that's okay. And I'm going to give you a couple of examples to show you how I've experienced this myself. I realized that my definition of self-love is different than some other people's definition of self-love. The reason why I mention this is that just because a self-love guru said that self-obsession is self-love, is that you need to be obsessed with yourself in order to love yourself. If you absolutely don't agree with that, if that doesn't resonate with you, then you have the right to disagree with that self-love guru. That's not my definition of self-love, but yes, I don't agree with it. Because for me, self-obsession is not self-love. And the problem is the fact that you as the audience, the people who are watching the self-love content on YouTube, on TikTok, or on Instagram or whatever, is you hearing the self-love concept, the opinion from someone saying self-obsession is self-love, or that you need to be obsessed with yourself in order to love yourself. And you hearing that and you're like, no, that is not how I feel about self-love. I don't agree with that. I disagree with that. But you feeling like, oh, should I actually feel this way? Is there something wrong with me that I don't agree with her, even though she has this amount of followers, this amount of views? It doesn't matter. And the answer is absolutely not. There is nothing wrong with you. And that person that's watching the self-love content thinks that, oh, this is what true self-love means. This should be my definition of self-love as well. Well, I just have to agree with this point, even though deep down I disagree with that, even though it doesn't resonate with me. And they're like, oh yeah, this needs to be my truth as well. And this is wrong. Just because someone with a lot of subscribers or someone who has a lot of followers said that in order to love yourself, you need to be obsessed with yourself. Just because they said that doesn't mean that you should take this as your truth. Doesn't mean that now you should take this as part of your definition of self-love. And this is what no self-love gurus will tell you. Is the fact that just because a concept or an opinion of theirs didn't resonate doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. Moving on to the next example, which is that one day I was scrolling on Instagram and this woman that I was following, she wrote, I came to realize that I am not good enough. I tried to be good enough. That's what you hear externally, but I came to realize that, I am not good enough. And that's okay. I admitted to myself, I don't resonate with that. I don't agree with that. I disagree with that because I believe that I am good enough. And this concept resonates with me, especially as someone who was abused in my childhood. And growing up as a teenager, I felt like I wasn't good enough. And no matter what I did, I was never good enough. But anyways, so basically for me, the concept, I am good enough, was very healing for me. The fact that, no, I don't need to prove anything to anyone. Like, prove what? To who? For me, the concept I am good enough was very healing for me for this reason. And this is how I see things. This is my definition of self-love. The fact that we are all good enough. But yeah, again, this is another example where I'm like, their definition of self-love doesn't resonate with me. And I don't agree with that. I disagree with that. Something important that I want to mention is the fact that if I would have seen this post on Instagram when I was 14 years old, feeling like I was not good enough, feeling worthless, I kind of would have believed that. The fact that, oh, I am not good enough. When in fact that's not true, because a lot of people are young and impressionable when they're starting their self-love journey. So you are just going to take whatever opinion that you come across as your truth, as the opinion that should resonate with you, even though you don't. But it's my job always to check in with myself and to see how I feel. And to ask myself, okay, does this resonate with me? How do I feel about this? Don't put people, no matter how many followers or subscribers someone has, don't put these people on a pedestal. Let me share with you an opinion that may or may not resonate with you. I came to realize that my self-worth does not come from praying or doing any kind of religious activity, being part of a religion, or dressing modestly. Because as a Muslim, I'm now an ex-Muslim, I felt like my self-worth came from all of these things because I felt like I needed to prove my self-worth to God. And I am worthy for being who I am, not for what I do. And because self-worth is inherent, and I truly believe that, and I am worthy of receiving a higher power's love for just being myself. Something else that I want to mention is that if you're a Christian and Jesus helped you in any shape or form when it comes to your relationship with yourself, then I'm happy for you. But know that in my videos, I'm not a Christian, I'm not a Muslim, I'm an ex-Muslim. It's like I can only speak from my own experience and how I see things and my opinions. If I say something when it comes to religious matters and self-love, and that doesn't resonate with you, then it doesn't resonate with you. Then don't take it. Do what's best for you and stay true to yourself. This is how I feel about things. This is how I see things. And this is my opinion. And I'm going to share that. I shared all of this to make you realize and see that no, you don't have to agree with someone else's definition of self-love if you don't agree with that, if that doesn't resonate with you. Just like how I didn't take someone else's definition of self-love or a concept about self-love that they shared that doesn't resonate with me. You can do the same thing. This is something very important that I want you to keep in mind. One quote that I highly recommend you keep in mind when it comes to you being on your self-love and healing journey, which is Bruce Lee's quote, which is research your own experience, absorb what is useful, reject what is useless, and add what is essentially your own. It's just a beautiful, powerful quote that I feel like it's gonna be so helpful for your self-love and healing journey. You're basically building your healthy, loving relationship with yourself in your own way, based on your definition of self-love, based on concepts about self-love that resonates with you, that you agree with. So use your discernment and trust yourself on your self-love journey. Don't be afraid to experiment with certain techniques, just like how I did on my self-love journey. So that's it, guys, with the video. I really enjoyed filming this video. Let me know in the comments down below what was your most important takeaways from this video. I would really love to know that. And as well as if you haven't started your self-love journey, then you'll absolutely want to check out the video, link in the description box down below. How to start your self-love journey in 2025. Obviously, it doesn't matter if you're watching this from 2026. Or I might have posted another video about starting your self-love journey by then, I don't know, but you will find that video really helpful. It's a step-by-step guide on how you can start your self-love journey. Very easy to follow through. You will not feel overwhelmed or confused after watching this video. By the way, it's a long video, so take notes. But yeah, I highly recommend you watch that video. If you want to improve certain areas when it comes to the relationship with yourself, then this video that I just linked in the description box down below will be very helpful for you as well. With that being said, I'll see you in the next episode of the Art of Practicing Self-Love series. Bye!